Yeah, all right. How hard was it to control Diego Maradona in the field?
It was easy. I mean, obviously he's a little bit older now, so he's not as quick, and maybe he's not looking to get the advantages that he used to get a few years ago. I obviously remember him playing against England in Mexico '86. I was only 15 at the time, and seeing him score that amazing goal. Wow! I mean, to think that I'm sharing the pitch with him now is quite special. Obviously, I saw what he did as well with his hand against England as well. So I was kind of like hoping he might handle the ball today, so I could show him a red card. But no, it's just great. On a serious note, great to be on the pitch with these legends. To meet Pele, to referee Maradona, oh, wow, it's really up there with some of the best memories in my career.
So it was more an achievement than the 2010 World Cup final?
It was easier than the 2010 World Cup final, for sure, yeah. And I think I refereed better on this game also. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, maybe. Well, in the Netherlands we have a referee, Björn Kuipers. You probably know him. What can you tell about him? What kind of style does he have? Do you like how he's acting in the field?
Yeah, Bjorn is one of UEFA's most experienced referees, and I'm pretty certain that he'll be seen on some big games here. You know, he's a referee that UEFA trust. They see him as a safe pair of hands. A lot of experience, of course. Europa League, Champions League, Confederations Cup finals, all within a short space of time. And I think that Bjorn manages the game in a way, he uses his personality. I don't see him rushing too quickly to the cards if he can manage the situation. And for sure, he's one of the favourites of the final. He's one of my big friends in the group of referees, and my fingers are crossed that he makes the final. The fact the Dutch national team are not here gives him an advantage, of course, because he doesn't have any conflict with a successful Dutch national team being here. So, yeah, you never know. You know, your first game is the only game that you're guaranteed as a referee. So, if that goes smoothly, it opens the door to more games. If the first game doesn't go well, big mistakes maybe in the game, then it might be the only game. But certainly, Bjorn Kuipers is somebody who I would expect to see in the later stages of this tournament.
And if you're responsible, you would pick him in the final?
My dream would be an England-France final with Bjorn as the referee. Now, maybe my imagination's running too wild, thinking that England might be there, but I think there's more chance for Bjorn to be there. But for certain, he would be capable of handling a big final here in the Stade de France in July. And yeah, my fingers are crossed for Bjorn. He's a good friend of mine, and I like him a lot as a ref.
What is he as a friend like?
Well, we like to take a drink together now and again. Dutch guys and English guys get on pretty well in that way. We've spent a lot of time together in the World Cup in Brazil, 2014, and also in the Confederations Cup the year before that. So we spent a lot of time together in each other's company. And no, you tend to find that certain referees will socialise with guys from certain countries, and the English guys always and the Dutch guys always got on really well, and the Scandinavians. So we spent a lot of time together over the last few years.
Yeah, and Brazil is a good place to meet up.
Of course, sitting on the Copacabana having a beer together is a nice thing. But to be fair, on the Champs-Élysées as well, it's not too bad either, is it? In July, in June, in weather like this, Festival of Football, it's a lucky place to be.
When is your next appointment with Bjorn?
I'll send him a few messages. I don't know when I'm going to meet him personally, but hopefully not too soon. I do some work out in Saudi Arabia as a refereeing consultant and directing operations out there, and I've had him over there taking charge of one of our biggest games in Riyadh. He was one of the first referees that I asked for when it was obvious that we needed some international guys to go over there. He was one of the first people that I asked to go and take charge of a game in the Saudi Arabian Pro League, and I'll do it again next year because he's somebody that I trust. So we'll not be able to have a drink out there, but we'll certainly take a coffee together, and I'll be sending him messages for good luck for tomorrow's game. He's fourth official, I think, on the first game between France and Romania. So again, it shows that UEFA trust him. They put a strong team on the first game, and we'll see him on a big game in the middle very soon.
And what would you suggest him for an advice if he has to handle like a final like 2010?
I hope he doesn't have to handle a final like this. I hope it's a much more simple affair for him, but just to trust in his judgment, trust in his quality. He had a really tough game in the Confederations Cup 2013 between Brazil and Spain, and he handled the game really well. It was a tough game, but he's got a good team around him. And I would say to all the referees, including Bjorn, just do what you've done all the time throughout your career. Don't do anything different because it's the finals, because it's the tournament finals. Just do what served you well throughout.
But that's the hardest part.
It is hard putting it out. You know what it is, of course. You know it's the final, but just to try where you can to treat it like another game and do what served you well over many years.
Thanks a lot.
Good luck. Enjoy the tournament.